Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Zilliqa. So this is going to be a shorter time frame TA and we're going to be talking about a few of the things we covered off in the macro TA that we've done a separate video on. So if you'd like more information about that, I'd highly recommend you watch that first before you look into this, so this will make a bit more sense. And yeah, we're going to go through the moves and it might look a bit complicated at first, but don't worry, we're going to go over it and sort of try and simplify it down as much as we can along the way. Okay, so let's get into the video, but before we start that, just want to say thank you for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Okay, so let's get into it. We're looking at a few options within the macros, and my preferred count for this still is the potential that we are looking at a 5-wave move to the downside, and basically that would be looking for this C wave to the downside to play out. Possibly this is still possible to look to target out these lower ranges here. We do have alternatives which we'll be keeping an eye on, but for the most part the last move within this cycle, which we'll go over, is pretty much the same. So once we get that move come in, then it'll be easier for us to kind of decipher which one of these options is playing out. We'll still have to monitor them side by side until we get some kind of confirmation that one or the other is in play, but we'll be keeping an eye out for these breakouts and try to keep you up to date as best we can. Okay, so within this, we're looking for this C wave to the downside. There's two ways of looking at this move. So one of these ways of looking at this move is as the fact that we could have an extension within this 5th wave here, where this is a 1, 2, we have a 3rd wave into this point, and then we have this extension to the downside. So this is one of the options that we're tracking. And potentially within this, what we'd be looking at is the move. If I come into the smaller time frame here, so I know this is very busy, but we will go over these moves. So what we'll be looking at here, so for the most part within this structure, this yellow 5-wave move is the same regardless of which option we're tracking. Within this yellow 5-wave move here, what I'm looking at is all of this into this point here as a wave 1, and then basically we have this as a wave 2 here. Then we have this additional 1, 2, 3, 4, and then within this last 5th wave here, we can see that it looks to have some extension. So we can count this last bit in a few ways. We can have it either as a diagonal shape within here, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into this low point, and that's wave 1. And then we have this would all be wave 3, and then a 4 and a 5. Or we can count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this low point, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this low point, and then we'd have this additional 1, 2 here. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for this 4th and 5th wave to the downside effectively. So if this is the case, what we'd be looking at here is the fact that we could be looking for this 4th wave to play out. And the typical area that this 4th wave could look to target out is between this 018009 and this 016279 area. We can see we've already come into this range. We've actually come into the 236 zone already, but it is still possible we could actually look for a little bit more upside here. So within this move, effectively what we'd be looking at is having this move up being a 4th wave move. And if we had a look at the previous wave, that was a zigzag. So we would be expecting this to become a bit more of a complex move. If that's the case, it is also possible that we have a different way of counting this where we could look to break out from this point. So we're going to cover both options. If this is a 4th wave move like this, like I said, this is our target area and we wouldn't be really wanting to go much above that 1809 range. And if I just throw a fib onto this quickly up here, down into this low point, so the maximum we'd want to go here actually is this 18948 area, and this would be basically a 0.5 retracement of this whole wave 3 as it's shown here. So we wouldn't want to go above that zone if we're looking at this as a 4th wave zone. It can just wick past it, but we wouldn't want to go like towards the 618 or anything like that. So it is possible we could actually see this climb a bit higher up into this area and then break down, but it is also possible because of the strength of this 3rd wave, we might see a shorter 4th wave here and looking to break down. So I'm going to just go back in here. Within this move, we can look at a few things, and I'm going to turn these off now just so that we have less mess. So one of the things we're going to talk about is if we are looking as a fourth wave, we're looking for a corrective move to the upside. So this is a move that I've been tracking, and I put these on the chart yesterday, and for the most part it actually seems to be working out all right. So there is a way we can actually look at this as a double zigzag, and what we'd be looking for is that this is an ABC, and to this point we have this as an X wave, and then what we're looking for is an A, a B, and a C. We did come down and test this 50% zone, and now we seem to have moved up again, and we are looking towards this this C wave high. We've met this one-to-one of this W wave from here, so it is possible that this could actually be completed and we could start to break down. However, like I said, there is still potential to move up towards this 17201 area. If this does play out, effectively that would then become an ABC within this area, and that could be a completed move as a, so that could either be an A wave or it could actually be a completed fourth wave, and we actually look to break down from there. We can see that we're finding some resistance on these previous support zones here that we found support on. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can manage to break back up above it and then look to progress, or whether we're going to actually face rejection here and continue to sell off. So this is an area that we could look to potentially move up to, and what we would want to, I'm going to switch it over here. So one thing we need to be aware of is there is another option where we are looking at the potential for breakout from this. And the way that we would be looking at this potentially is that this would be a 1-2, and that we'd be looking to form some kind of a 5-wave move here as a bigger 5-wave move. And within this, what we'd be looking at is effectively, this is a 1-2, and we haven't quite reached the impulsive trigger here. So the impulsive trigger of this move is up here at this 17142 area, and that would be a typical third wave move. We haven't quite reached it, so it is possible that it still applies, but it is, until we reach it, we don't have a lot of confidence within this move. So what we would be looking at then is the internal structure of this, and the problem with this doesn't give us a great deal of confidence because of the overlap here. It actually doesn't cross. So what we could argue is that within this move here, we've had a 1-2, and that we're currently in the third wave, but we'd have to look at this as a 1-2. The problem is the structure is not good within this, but let's have a look anyway. So if we had a look, and we were talking about this being a wave 1 and a 2, so we could argue that we've reached this typical third wave area here. Which would be basically a 1, 2, 3. So now we'd be looking for this fourth wave retracement and then an additional push to the upside. So this fourth wave would typically come down to this zone here of this 16647 area, and that could therefore be a, so basically let's flip this around let's get rid of these because I don't need this anymore. So if we are looking for breakout potential here, we'd look at this as potentially as a wave 3. And then we'd be wanting to look for this this fourth wave retracement. So this fourth wave retracement would look to move down between this 382 to a 0.5 typically. This would be a sort of area where we could look to target out. And this would actually tie in quite nicely with this previous fourth wave here as well. Though we would not want to cross this zone here. So the crossing back up below 16367 would actually invalidate the potential of having this additional fifth wave to the upside here. And what we'd be looking for then is a different structure, because once this fourth wave crosses that, we can't count it as that complete as a 5-wave move anymore, and we would have to reevaluate the structure. It could be at that point that either this is a completed wave 4 and we break down within the other option that we were talking about, or alternatively we could actually be looking for a bigger structure to the upside here. But even then, the structure within this isn't great. It looks more corrective because of the overlap currently. This could progress further, which would make more sense, and then we would actually look for that continuation. And then this would all become a third wave. So if this does play out, and we do look to target out that zone we were talking about here, effectively between the 0.5 zone, actually let's go to, I'm going to do it onto that 382 because I could come and look to retest some of these tops. Alternatively, we could look to come down and do a 0.5 and test the bottom area of this. So it all depends exactly where it lands, but we'll go off the 382 retracement. and then we'd look for this move to the upside here. So this has probably moved this target area slightly. If I get rid of this now, so it has moved this slightly. So if this does play out, we could potentially look for a move up here into this 17390 to this 17219 area as a potential breakout with this 5-wave move. If that does play out, then effectively what we would be looking for is more information that we've got an additional 4th wave here. And this 4th wave would actually be looking to target out within the same zone again, probably. I'm going to have a look by putting this fib off into this area. So we can see that a 0.382 basically comes back to the top here, and a 0.5 comes a bit lower down here. It's possible we might move down and test the bottom of this move with this 4th wave, and then we could look to push back to the upside. So I'm just going to pull this fib onto here, then I'll delete the previous one. So within this move, effectively what we could be looking for then is, if this is to develop as a 5-wave move, as we have it shown here, we could look for a move up into this other secondary red box area between this 17800 area. Oh, grabbed the wrong thing there. 17800 area, all the way down to sort of this 17477. So this is just a typical area, and this is provided we don't get any extensions. If we start to get some extensions within the waves, this could change this could change these target areas, and we might have to readjust. But basically this is possible for as long as we stay above the 16367 area, and the secondary 4th wave would have to stay above this zone here of this 16132. If we manage to stay above those zones, what we could be looking for is a bigger move to the upside here, and looking for this typical area here, 17789 to this 17443. If we do get a move like this play out as a 5-wave move, what I'd next be anticipating is the potential that we could have this as an A, and then we'd be looking for the potential of that B and a C wave. So all for this high point is probably going to have changed this box area now that we've adjusted this slightly. So basically, I'm just going to delete this. So basically we'd be looking for a retracement back to the 0.5 to the 786. So this would be between the 16425 to the 15760 zone. If we do move up into this zone, we could look for that retracement potentially down into these areas, and then look for that to push up again as a C wave to the upside. So this is looking for upside here, though this would all rely on us staying above these blue lines that we've got indicated here within these substructures. If we do start to break down and take these out, then effectively it would adjust the structure, and we would no longer have any good structure for this potential impulse here. Though really only by breaking this 15280 would we be certain that we wouldn't get any other structures to the upside here, because even if this completes here, we could still see a retracement down and then a push to the upside again in a different structure, like I said, where this is just an ABC, or so it's just a double zigzag, where this is a zigzag, an X wave, and a zigzag for an A. Then we could look for that B wave retracement and still have a push to the upside. If we don't form this impulsive structure that we have here, basically what I'd be looking at is as a potential support zone would be the 16164 to this 15652, and that would be looking at this potentially as just an A wave completed here, and then looking for that potential for a B wave, and then for that continuation to the upside in a C wave. So there's a few things that could be playing out here. Until we lose these zones that we talked about, especially this previous 4th wave here at 16412, there is still potential for us to see this move to the upside, though we need to be careful because we can just count this as a double zigzag here, in which case it could be the completed 4th wave move that we were talking about, and we could just look to break down from there. And if I just switch back over here, effectively if we fail to form this as a bigger move to the upside here, this could be this 4th wave completed here, and then we would be looking to break down. So if we do look to break down, this is the target area that I'd be looking at. This is probably adjusted slightly because I think I worked this off of the 0.382. So let's have a look. So if we do actually just have a direct sell off from here, the area I'd be looking for is this 148 881 to this 14256. Breaking down into this zone would actually indicate a completed fourth wave, and then we would still be looking for this potential to have this yellow additional fourth wave within this move. So we just need to be aware that there is still potential to have some extensions within this, where this is all actually, all of this comes into this yellow wave 3, and then from there we still potentially look to complete a wave 4 and 5 to the downside. So we just need to track these moves, and once this fifth wave comes in, if it does play out, what we'd be looking for then is how this fourth wave develops. It is always possible that we've gotten something slightly wrong within the wave count, and we're actually looking to form this yellow fourth wave now, though it does indicate to me that we have another drop left for this leg. Though there is always the possibility there could be extensions that aren't apparent at the moment. And an interesting area to talk about as well is this descending trend line that we have over here. And if I just go back out onto the daily here, if we have a look here, we have these touch points. So we've had 4 touch points and we've lost this as support. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can regain it. If we fail to regain it, what we might see is a push up into this zone. And I mean, this zone here is this. So depending on how long this takes to play out, it could be 17,600 towards the 17,800-ish area, up all the way up to here. Actually, this 18,000 area. So that could be an area we look to retest and be rejected from if we are looking to sell off. And like I said previously in the previous video, we do have the potential that this trend line could, that this channel could come into play, where we actually look to come back down and retest this lower end of it. We've only got 2 touch points off of this, on the top and the bottom, but it is possible that this could play out, so we'll just have to keep an eye on it. We will keep you up to date with the moves as we see them happen, but basically within this, if we do see that breakout, we'd be looking for that support and then looking to progress to the upside. Though really, until we break back above this 24664 area, there isn't a lot to get excited about, because this could always just become a 1-2, and we could just actually break down even further. Even if we do invalidate this fourth here, there is still the potential that we could look for further extension, yeah, especially with the current counts for BTC and ETH. And if you haven't had a look at those videos, maybe you want to check them out. And especially with ETH and BTC also expecting a pullback, I know we've got some potential for some upside before we get that pullback, but it is possible that we could actually see this progress down further, because those are potentially looking for a third wave, which would drag this down quite heavily in my opinion. So we just need to be aware of these things. If you haven't watched those videos, you might want to check them out as well, give you a bit more insight into what I'm talking about, just to keep you up to date as best we can. And I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did and you haven't already, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, turn on those bell notifications, and why not leave us some feedback down below. In the description, you will find the Discord link. This is a great place. You know, you can come in, jump into the general chat area. It's free to join, have a chat with us, talk about any of the questions that you may have regarding the video or anything in crypto related in general. And yeah, why not come and have a look? Also in the description, you'll find an affiliate link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange. It's the one we use when we're doing our trading, whether that's leverage or spot trading. It's a great exchange. It's got great features within it, which help you with your risk management. And yeah, it's the one we use when we're doing all our trades. We really recommend it. Okay, so with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great day. And until we see each other in the next video, take care out there, everyone.